This is a Fox 10 News special report. The beautiful beaches, the Eastern Shore serenity, the familiar farmlands, all part of Baldwin County. Some call it a piece of paradise, but that paradise comes with a price.
I can understand their challenge in dealing with the tremendous growth that we are having here. Like it or not, they're coming.
And they're coming fast.
This cramped classroom used to be an IT closet. This classroom used to be the assistant principal's office.
Some schools bursting at the seams, so school leaders have come up with a solution to the problem. Build more schools. But that too comes with a price.
The total cost is expected to be $350 million, and that would be paid for through a property tax increase.
Baldwin County's quality of life and public schools are second to none.
So they're asking for more of your hard-earned money. And there's controversy in the campaign. A Fox 10 News investigation uncovered that school leaders are using taxpayer dollars to encourage a yes vote.
This is not taxpayer dollars. This money has been given to the school board to benefit the children of Baldwin County. This is their money. This is their children's money.
They're tax dollars, and they're there for a specific reason, and that's not to promote more taxes.
So, what will it be? Yes or no? Tonight, we're committed to giving you both sides of the issue. Information to help you decide. This is a Fox 10 News special report. The Baldwin County tax vote.
And the countdown is on in Baldwin County. We are a little more than 4 days and 13 hours away from the polls opening for that much anticipated Baldwin County tax vote.
It doesn't get much bigger than this. Hi there, everyone, and thank you for staying with us. I'm Lenny Slagan.
And I'm Bob Grip. Thanks for joining us for this Fox 10 News special report. We have a lot to get to in the next 30 minutes.
And we're committed to bringing you both sides of this issue.
And we have a team of reporters covering the story tonight. We'll start with Hal Sherrick, who is live in Fairhope.
Hal, it's safe to say this vote has really divided Baldwin County.
It really has, Bob and Lenise. You know, in many cases, this has friends and even family members pitted against one another. Supporters of this tax increase say it's all about investing in our children, but some opponents say they're already taxed enough. It's hard to drive more than a mile or so in Baldwin County without seeing road and yard signs promoting next week's vote. Build Baldwin Now signs asking for a yes vote have been out for a while. Over the last couple of weeks, opponents to the tax increase have been putting out signage of their own. Throughout the county, there's no shortage of opinions. Opponents of the tax have been actively bending anyone's ear that will listen. A recent Baldwin County Commission meeting was one of those occasions. Commissioners have no control over the Board of Education or the election, but that didn't stop naysayers from voicing their opinions during public comment.
I feel like we are being trampled by the politicians. I feel like we're being held hostage to our children.
Jeff Burgess owns and operates Spanish Fort Barbershop. Most of his clients are older men. The tax vote has been a big topic of conversation at the shop. Around here, no has the majority vote.
They're not going to vote for the new tax?
You don't think so?
No, I don't.
What kind of reasons are you hearing?
They think the school board maybe misspent the money that they got before.
Opponents to the new tax are largely seniors on fixed incomes, some business owners, and those who own multiple properties. The yes contingent is strong, too. The vast majority of parents in the county are for the tax increase and are quick to tell you why.
Classrooms are getting fuller. It's becoming harder and harder to supply even the school supplies for the children. That's a huge complaint.
To me, it's important that we have funding for new schools, especially because of the overcrowding. I don't like the idea of my girls in trailers for classrooms.
The Baldwin County School Board and supporters of the Build Baldwin Now campaign have also been very vocal and have worked hard to let voters know how the money would be spent. So has that message been loud enough and clear enough?
I think that they put out enough information to let them know what it's going towards, but I do think that they need to put out a little bit more, being that they haven't quite done enough to get people to vote to the yes way.
We're getting pamphlets and brochures from the school, there's signage. We are having emails sent to us telling us, you know, some of the topics that will be voted on and why that's necessary.
Many outside of the school system's list of contacts still don't feel like they know enough.
I think they're kind of undecided on what they really are trying to understand with all this. It's still a little unclear.
And you know, I literally spoke with dozens of folks on this issue who had already made up their minds, but were reluctant to say what they had decided on air, largely because they had friends and families on the other side of the issue. Reporting live in Fairhope, Hal Sherrick, Fox 10 News.
Many of you who live in Baldwin County may have gotten a call from me in the past 24 hours asking two crucial questions. Before next Tuesday's property tax vote, we wanted to conduct a survey to measure your opinion about the property tax increase proposal. So we hired Strategy Poll to conduct a short telephone survey of registered voters throughout Baldwin County. Here are the results. Among the more than 4,000 respondents, 63% said they would vote no, while 37% said they would vote yes. We also asked people how likely they are to vote. Those who said they are doubtful to vote also had the highest no percentage at 74%. Jonathan Gray of Strategy explains why that combination means the question is still undecided.
It's all about voter turnout, Bob. What you're looking at here is people that are going to come vote on Election Day. It's very different than me calling you on your couch and asking you how you vote. You've got to actually find time in your day and go stop your schedule and get out and go vote. That's very different.
The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 2%. As Gray pointed out to me, there is a difference between people sitting at home answering a poll and those actually leaving their house on Election Day and voting. That's where he says the mystery of an election kicks in. At 9 o'clock, we'll go into more depth in those poll numbers.
So just how much would this proposed tax increase cost Baldwin County taxpayers? Two very different figures out there. Opponents say $400, while the school systems say it's more like $147. So we decided to do the math, and here's the deal. This is an $8 million property tax increase that will apply to taxable property. That means homes, vehicles, boats, and trailers. The majority of the generated revenue will come from taxes collected on the value of your home. So if you own a $100,000 house, it works out to around $80 more a year in your tax bill. It's $160 per $100,000 of appraised value for businesses. And when you renew your tags on your vehicles, trailers, or boat, you'll notice a $12 increase per $12,000 of appraised value. Now the changes kick in October 2016. That's if the property tax increase gets approved. Baldwin County currently receives $12 million from property taxes. With the additional $8 million increase, it's still near the bottom of the list when you look at what other schools get. For instance, Mobile County gets $29.5 million compared to Hoover's $46 million and Mountain Brook's $52.9 million.
Baldwin County school leaders want to use those extra mills to build new schools and add more square footage to existing schools. They put together a 10-year plan, even though this is a 30-year tax increase. The total cost to taxpayers over 10 years is about $350 million. A large chunk of that, about $140 million, would be used on projects over the next 1 to 3 years. Those projects include a new elementary school in Bay Minette, a new K-8 school in the Bell Forest area, and a new high school in Gulf Shores. If you want to see the entire plan, you can head to our website, fox10tv.com.
And the proof is in the numbers as to why all that additional space is needed. School records show a 25% increase in student population over the last 10 years.
And that overcrowding issue is very evident at one elementary school. Fox 10 News Baldwin County reporter Will Robinson-Smith has the story from Elsinore.
With just 4 days until ballots are cast, those in support of raising property taxes for school construction and expansion are continuing to put emphasis on improving the lives of kids rather than the tax itself. Dennis Hammer has a great-grandson who goes to Elsinore Elementary School, but he says that's not why he's in favor of the tax hike.
Somebody paid taxes for me to go to school, and I should do the same thing, whether I've got somebody in school here or not.
Are we adding more or giving some away?
Those who work at the school say expansion is crucial. Over the last decade, Baldwin County has seen a student population growth of 25%, The Robertsdale feeder pattern saw an 18% growth, with about a quarter of that happening in the last year. Jessica Walters has taught kindergarten in one of the portables since September.
You are an artist.
When I spoke with her, the kids were working on an arts and crafts project. A perfect example, she says, of the challenges portable teaching presents.
There's not any storage hardly. I mean, I have things piled all around the room. When they finish an art project, it's all stuffed on top of their cubbies, so there's just not a lot of storage space for the teachers to use. What do I do next, Jasper?
Christy Lyles teaches first grade in the main building. She says there's also a sense of community lost when dealing with portables.
Being in a main building, it's not only builds a community with the teachers, but it builds a community with the students too. When you're in a main building, the students are able to work more together, the teachers are able to work more together. When you're out in a portable, you're basically on your own. They feel like they're in another world. The kids only see their classroom, the teachers only see themselves.
And above all else, teachers and administrators say safety is the main issue. One of the key differences between the classrooms indoors and the portables are the doors themselves. This one has a more solid frame and a sturdier handle, versus the portables, which have a considerably thinner door and a more flimsy handle.
The design of the portables just doesn't lend itself to put in the proper hardware to make it a challenge for someone who seeks to do harm or danger to the students or faculty members of our district. It doesn't do a good job of preventing them or stopping them.
Right now, there are 10 portables just beyond the main building, but if the referendum passes, Elsinore would get 10 new classrooms.
Coming up next, campaign controversy after a Fox 10 News investigation reveals that taxpayer money is being used to encourage a yes vote. It's a perfectly legal move, but some people say that still doesn't make it right.
To promote an agenda that is one-sided to double our property taxes to get more money. So that bothers me, yes.
This is a Fox 10 News special report.
This campaign has had its fair share of controversy. Both sides have come under fire because of 2 Fox 10 News investigations.
One uncovered taxpayer money being spent to encourage a yes vote. And earlier this week, Baldwin County probate judge Tim Russell thanked Fox 10 News for bringing another matter to his attention.
We showed the judge this campaign flyer encouraging a no vote on the property tax increase. After looking it over, the judge said the flyer appeared to be illegal because it doesn't state who or what entity had paid for it.
Russell told us he was going to notify the Secretary of State's office about that violation.
Now, it turns out a group called Educate Baldwin Now distributed those flyers. The group also has a Vote No website.
The day after our story aired, the group sent us a statement that read in part, many or any failures, I should say, were not intentional, and Educate Baldwin Now is willing to make a good faith effort to correct such failures.
Baldwin County School Board has also come under fire for its campaign strategy.
That's right. 2 weeks ago, the school board was criticized for ordering its school buses not to gas up at 2 gas stations owned by a vocal opponent to the tax increase.
And a week before that, Fox 10 News uncovered that the school system had used more than $156,000 in taxpayer money to encourage a yes vote.
Fox 10 News reporter Katie Weiss made that discovery. Katie, you've since learned that numbers has gone up even more.
It certainly has, Bob and Lenise. This is a financial form here from the Political Action Committee, the Baldwin County Education Coalition, formed earlier this month. And it shows the school system has now spent some $210,000 in taxpayer money on the Build Baldwin Now campaign.
Our investigation began when Fox 10 News noticed these voting pledge cards. We asked the Baldwin County Board of Education how much it spent on the flyers. Only $3,000 taxpayer dollars was the answer.
In favor, say aye.
As I continued to press the school board about its use of taxpayer money for the Build Baldwin Now campaign, the board ultimately released this breakdown of expenditures. More than $156,000 was spent to encourage voters to pass the 8 mil property tax increase. About $45,000 was spent on printing costs, marketing research, and an informational video. And about $115,000 tax dollars was paid to a law firm for legal counsel and consulting on the campaign. On the day these numbers were released, School Board President Norm Moore defended the expenses.
This is not taxpayer dollars. This money has been given to the school board to benefit children of Baldwin County. This is their money. This is their children's money.
Since then, Fox 10 News has uncovered more spending on the campaign. Another $54,000 taxpayer dollars on TV commercials. That brings the total to $210,000 in taxpayer money spent on the campaign. I asked school board member Angie Swiger why she felt comfortable approving the use of taxpayer dollars to promote a yes vote when there are some taxpayers in Baldwin County who will vote no.
People who don't have children in the schools benefit from a great school system. Great school systems equal strong economies, strong communities, so everyone benefits whether they have students in the schools or not.
But one school board member has a different take.
They're tax dollars, and they're there for a specific reason, and that's not to promote more taxes or to promote candidates or anything else.
So is it legal? Well, according to a 2003 Alabama Attorney General's opinion, it is.
And while it might be legal, many voters here in Baldwin County say the school board's use of taxpayer dollars to advertise a yes vote just isn't right.
And them spending more of our money to promote a vote to increase it is a little ridiculous.
But not everyone in Baldwin is upset. Many voters say the Build Baldwin Now campaign is something they're willing to pay for.
Whatever it takes. I think it's okay.
All right.
So it's worth it, in my opinion.
Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Katie Weiss for Fox 10 News.
Next up, Superintendent Robbie Owen responds to the growing criticism in a one-on-one interview.
What about the spending of taxpayer money on the advertising?
It's how you have to do it.
Baldwin County's new school superintendent, Robbie Owen, is one of the biggest proponents of the property tax increase. I visited a portable classroom with him at Spanish Fort High School to ask some of the questions you want answered.
You want your children all in a safe environment, enclosed. Portables just aren't as conducive to learning. First of all, they're not as safe.
Now, some of the opponents have said, well, it really doesn't matter where they learn. It's the teachers that are important.
Yeah, of course the teachers are important, and we show that we do have great learning going on. Safety is huge. And we do know that in a crowded situation, our portables aren't as large as classrooms. You just can't offer an equal situation.
Now, talking about the idea of the property tax increase, I've searched the website and I haven't seen any mention that this would also apply to things like boats and trailers and businesses. That's the case, correct?
To some extent, yes, but 93%, I believe, of the amount is on the property. The ad valorem tax is on your home property. So, you know, that's where the bulk of it would be.
But if I have a boat, I'm going to have to pay a little extra on the boat.
I think there's a little extra there, too, yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you don't talk about that so much on the...
you know, I know more what is going toward the ad valorem and toward the home.
The way the referendum is structured, there's a chance actually you could wind up with less money if people just went no, 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 no.
There is that possibility. Yes.
Are you worried about that?
Sure, we're concerned, but we feel like the people are going to come through for us. We feel good that we're going to get all 5 measures voted on, and we do feel like that everyone feels that we need the funding we have.
What about the spending of taxpayer money on the advertising campaign? It was more than $160,000?
Right.
Do you feel that was justified?
It's how you have to do it, and be honest, that's, you know, years ago it was asked of the Attorney General, and they said, yes, this is appropriate.
Now, this is a 10-year construction plan that you're talking about here, but yet you're asking for the tax to go on for 30 years. How come?
Well, first of all, we're going through bond issuance, and you can't borrow against a 10-year tax. We need the 30-year, and that's pretty typical. It's impossible to say where you would want to build 30 years from now.
Some people are going to vote no matter what. Some people are going to vote yes no matter what. What can you say to the folks who are still on the fence?
And strong schools make for strong communities. You can look anywhere. Where are the best communities that people think, wow, I'd like to live there? Let's go look at the schools.
And you feel that this is absolutely necessary?
Absolutely necessary. We have 100 portable classrooms right now. The estimate is that it will be 450 to 500 portables in 10 years. I just can't see that anyone would say that is adequate to have schools with 10,000 children actually in about 10 years in portable classrooms. You won't see that in your best schools across the nation.
Owen said neighboring counties all have higher ad valorem rates than Baldwin County, and that the county needs to keep pace with the explosive growth that shows no sign of slowing down.
Coming up next, the other side of this debate. Cody Phillips with the Common Sense campaign is live in the studio. Why he's voting no right after the break.
This is a Fox 10 News special report.
Welcome back. Well, you just heard from the superintendent, Robbie Owen. Now, to be fair, we invited Owen to join us live in the studio tonight, but we're told he had a prior engagement. We also invited the Common Sense campaign to join us, and Cody Phillips, who is the chapter president in Daphne and Fairhope, accepted that invitation. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you being here.
I'm glad to be here.
So we heard the superintendent's call for why this tax vote is so important. Tell us why you say no.
Well, we say no for some specific reasons. You know, we agree with portables that we need to do away with, and we agree that there needs to be safe and secure facilities. However, we believe that there's been so much mismanagement over a number of years that they could have actually started addressing this when the first portable was placed on any of the school properties and start looking at raising money at that time. Instead, now we're where we're at, and we believe that they're the ones that created it, but yet the taxpayers are having to pay for it.
So your position is mismanagement is what got us in this position. Those in favor of the tax increase, however, say that your group is just against progress in the county. How would you react to that?
Oh, no, not at all. Matter of fact, I saw a press conference today in which there were remarks about good schools bring good business and population increases. Well, we've already seen there is population increases with the portables, so you can kind of disregard that statement because people have moved here because of the quality of the teachers and the education, regardless of the portables.
But there is that increase, and the county continues to grow. They're receiving less funding. How do you suppose they go about making sure that students are getting adequate education in a safe environment if this tax does not pass?
Well, I think that if it does not pass, of course, let me state that we are for the renewals, the 7 mil renewal. And we've been trying to tell everyone to please vote for the renewals. We're against the 8 mil because it was way too much to ask for at this moment in time, especially with, as we've learned today, all the taxes that Governor Bentley is bringing to the county and to all the households. So, that's going to be something added that is going to be taken out of their pocket.
I've got time for one more question. I want to get this in. It goes back to our poll. An enormous amount of people say no on this. Do you think that's going to create a rally for the yes voters?
No, I don't think so. The more and more I hear people in emails and so forth who tell me they're going to vote no because there's that lack of transparency, and it's a big perception that is really hurting the school board. And we've asked for them to be more transparent and open with everything, but they haven't responded to our questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Cody Phillips, for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we're breaking down the ballot because there's more than one yes or no question. What you need to know before you go into the voting booth.
Fox 10 News is committed to making sure you know what you're voting on before you step into the booth.
We think it's important to point out that there are 5 separate issues on Tuesday's ballot. So let's Our 3 tax renewal questions on the ballot that carry a total of 7 mills of property tax.
The final 2 items on the ballot represent the proposed new taxes for 8 mills of property tax. All the taxes would be in effect for 30 years.
Now, the polls are open Tuesday from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Polling places for this election, and there are 46 of them, will be the same as for other countywide elections. The deadline to apply for an absentee ballot just passed at 4:30 this afternoon.
Fox 10 News will have team coverage on Election Day in Baldwin County, starting on our morning program with Eric Reynolds and Sarah Wall.
And we'll carry our coverage through the evening with the results at the bottom of your TV screen and on fox10tv.com. And we'll bring you live reaction to those results on Fox 10 News at 9 p.m.
And of course, you can get the latest news tonight at 9 o'clock right here on Fox 10, so be sure to join us.
And for all of us here, have a good night.